Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. First and foremost, allow me to extend my warm greeting to you all on behalf of the Government of Republic of Union of Myanmar. So as you all know, our common goal is to achieve sustainable development, which will ensure to meet the needs not only by the present mankind, but also to our future generations. To shape our common goal, 2 Earth Summits have been held in 1992 and 2012 at Rio de Janeiro, and this summit adopts guidelines for our planet's sustainability. Based on central research on environmental disasters, our South Asia and Asia-Pacific region suffer more on environmental disaster than any other areas in the world. Similarly, ADB report 2009 has predicted that Southeast Asia is one of the world's most vulnerable regions to the climate change, and climate change is affecting the region. The impacts of climate change are now much better known than it was in 2 decades ago. So as in Myanmar, an example in Myanmar, as the His Excellency of the Bhutan have said, we are also having this decreasing rainfalls. So annual number of raining days, according to our instrumental records, was about 145 days in the past 55 years. Now it has reduced to about only 100 days, a significant declination in duration of monsoon rain in Myanmar. The late onset and the earlier withdrawal of monsoon, shortening of rain days make drier period longer, making flowering and fruiting time for some tree species earlier in the country. We have observed the fruits that produced, for example, teak fruits, which is very important for our country, are not so strong enough for successive germination. To adapt with these circumstances, we are now developing short-lived rice variety and salt-tolerant rice variety in our agriculture industry. Furthermore, underground water table is lowering in our dry zone of Myanmar, and water stress is more apparent than ever before. Fresh water is the main concern for all in today's climate change impact. These circumstances accelerate us to develop new system of water management in agro-industry, which consume the bulk of the fresh water in the country. Taking all these best available scientific climatic information, we realize that climate change is one of the most issues to our age, and we have time to deal to fight against it. And new challenges or impacts would likely to come out, provided that we fail to adequately address the climate change mitigations. To say climate change is one of the greatest challenge in our age to achieve sustainable development, successful warming at the Earth's surface at each of the last decades demonstrate that human actions are still in the pattern of growth first and clean up later. It is essential that there must be a strengthened institutional framework to effectively solve the impacts of the climate change and efficiently bridge gaps in the implementation of climate change, adaptation, and mitigation. The institutional framework should be inclusive, transparent, and effective, and it should find some common solution relating to climate change challenges to sustainable development. No single organization or country can address the impact of the climate change, and neither adaptation nor mitigation alone would be able to solve the climate change challenges. In adaptation and mitigation, I here would like to remind you all to develop a renewable energy as fast as possible. This is mainly because of the fact that fossil fuel exhaustion is predicted within this century, provided that our fossil fuel utilization goes on at the current rate. To say we are at the age where we need to develop renewable energy resources through geothermal, wind, solar power, and failing to do this which greatly threaten our energy security. We can produce biofuel from many grains, cereals, and sugar canes, but this should carefully be done because of this change can rise food shortage leading to high price of food. This high price will again put pressure on the survival of hungry people especially in the developing countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, sustainable consumption and production is virtually important for long-term use of our natural resources and environment. We must recognize that these resources belong not only to the present, but also to the future generations. Consumption patterns shapes production, and lavish consumption of resources will lead to unsustainable productions. Fundamental changes in resource consumption, commodities production, and waste disposal meant by the people across the world are therefore to be carried out without fail. Because human beings are at the center of the concern of sustainable development, and they are entitled to healthy and reproductive life in harmony with the nature. With this, I would conclude my presentation. Thank you very much.